good. It's so easy to watch. Each episode is 22 to 24 minutes, 10 episodes. You'll be fine. Then come back, listen, party with us, party all the time, party everywhere. Okay.
Party hardy.
My favorite part is when David kills everyone. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Anime Summit Podcast. Your favorite host of the most, Sam, the Bomb. And of course with me every week is Danny.
Sup, chooms?
And Knock.
Guess.
It's a brown food, pretzels.
Nope. It's Epsom salt.
Alright, that's really weird to have in your bedroom.
It's for my little piggies.
Alright.
What
Hey.
the fuck?
And we had to log in, we had to jack in into the internet all the way to get this next awesome guest. All the way from Dubai. Kwoka.
Preem.
Sounds like an alien.
Kwoka is joining us once again.
Danny came in with the choom. Nick is always a gonk, so I had to be Preem. That's just how it works.
Yeah, dude. This is the first time we have Kwoka on in a while, and you're about to short circ already, dude. Come on, dog.
So okay.
About to go into cyber psychosis.
Yeah, dog. You might be wondering.
Like I'm always in it. That's my secret. That's my secret, Doc.
You're like, well, Sam, what's that weird lingo you got going on with Kwoka? So we're talking about cyberpunk, bitch. That's future slang for you. Okay, that's cyberpunk future slang.
It's past future slang.
Past
the
future
Cyberpunk
slang.
Days of Future Past, starring Hugh Jackman.
Starring
As Wolverine.
as Wolverine.
Did you guys see that
Dude.
news? He's coming back as Wolverine? Okay.
Oh
that's
hell
not
yeah,
him.
with Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds.
I'm so excited.
Deadpool, baby.
The announcement was hilarious. He was like, "Hey, Hugh, you want to do this again?" Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like walking up the stairs.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, those guys are both like 6'3". It's crazy.
Yeah, I think Hugh Jackman's like, he's almost 6, and then Ryan Reynolds is like a little taller.
No, Hugh Jackman's really tall.
No, I don't think he's above 6 though.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's
I'm
not.
gonna look
it
him up, dude. Hugh
Look it up right
Jackman,
now.
naked and oiled.
Just get
height.
going. We're going to be
6'3".
talking about Cyberpunk.
Let's go.
Edgerunners.
Yeah, we're talking about- Thank you. We're talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners on Netflix.
Studio
Netflix
Trigger.
Studio Trigger, saving anime again. Me and Kwoka are gonna
Mike
jack off.
Pondsmith.
We're gonna jack off Trigger this whole entire episode. Like we always do.
CDPR.
They literally saved anime.
Yoshinori.
Again.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, let's just
Saved
jump
anime
into
and
it.
gaming. And music. They saved everything. But we'll get
Yeah.
into
They
that
saved
later.
everything. They saved everything.
And they saved that haircut. What's that haircut called?
They saved that one little girl's cat.
The
from
Hitler
True.
Youth haircut?
No, the Lucy haircut. Is it a bob or something?
The
I don't
Bob.
know.
Sun Bob.
It's a fancy bob. Send bobs.
Okay. Links.animesummit.net. That's where you can find where to listen, where to party, where to hardy, where to farty, if you're into that sort of thing. And get us to 100 Spotify ratings. I'll make Danny review School Days. And then we'll do a live stream where we give away things and party and talk about butts. And also, patreon.com/animesummit. Become a patron today. And I'll high five you. I'll send it in the mail. All right. Listener question of the week. Knock.
You're just going up to mailboxes and just like open palm slapping them?
Yes.
What anime, ED, would you want played at your funeral? This is from Robot.
Robot. Dude, I'm telling you, I would play Fukai Mori, the second ED song to Inuyasha by Do As Infinity.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a
Just
Danny
get-
answer right there.
Doku
You're wrong.
Dude,
Stop
okay, stop-
sniping Danny
stop-
right now.
I'm not sniping anyone, dude. God, stop fucking saying that, you stupid bitch.
You better die first so you get that song. Otherwise, Danny's gonna take it.
I literally, we were into Inuyasha at the same time. Like, I don't know why you... Oh, it's a girl show. It must
Correct.
be Danny. Like,
The correct answer is "It's Only Love" by Utada Hikaru from the Evangelion movies.
okay, yeah, that
That's
are
pretty
beautiful.
good, yeah.
That are beautiful boy. I would.
Yeah,
do
the
that.
Beautiful World one is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, just Fly Me to the Moon is my favorite, though. And I'd have somebody who barely speaks English try to sing it live.
Well, you
They
would just
live
do-
sing it.
Okay. It's just the song played at the. You can't have a live performance.
Yeah,
That's
you can. What are you
cheating.
talking about?
That's
And
not
they
what
would
the
be upside
question
down,
was.
too. They'd be upside down.
That's not what the question was. You can't cheat. That's cheating.
Fuck.
Well, Ray was upside down in the ED. All right, whatever. What is Danny's answer?
I'd probably pick the ED from Fruits Basket of the final
God.
season.
Everybody should take a shot.
Yeah, that song is.
I'm sure that was good.
I feel like I don't want it to be like sad. So
Danny picks All Star by Smash
just
Mouth.
a little bit.
God.
Oh man. Or I would also do the first ED from Nana. It's sung by Olivia Inspy, who does the voice for Rhaera, who's one of the characters in the show, and the song is A Little Pain.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
okay, yeah. In all
Little
seriousnness,
pain
though,
helps the
when they
medicine go
are
down.
A Little
helps
Pain.
the in all seriousness, though,
That's
when
my
they're
rapper
lowering,
name.
when they're lowering me into the ground, I would like, I would like them to play "I Will Kill You" by Cannibal Corpse. I think that'd be really funny.
That's like a regular band.
The
right?
bodies hit the floor.
Yeah, and then
But
all
the bodies hit the floor.
yeah, and then all of maybe my fucking soccer team from second grade, so they can let me down one more time.
God.
Bunch
Sounds
of
your
bitches.
last words are like, I still remember.
We could have had a championship. Anyway.
People don't forget.
Waifu and Husbando.
Wait,
Danny.
no, I got
Oh wait,
mine.
no, Kwoka's it. Oh, Kwoka's it. No, you already said your answer and you
No,
fucked up.
no, my real answer is Mario Kart N64 Rainbow
No,
Road.
nope. Don't answer that. Nope,
You
that's a
can't
fake
do that
fake answer.
one.
Let's go.
No, number one you already answered. Number one you already answered with a dumb answer, and number two
Nope,
you can't
Mario
do that
Kart
'cause that's
64
not-
Rainbow Road.
Nope, that's
It's
not your
supposed
answer.
to be anime.
That's not your answer.
That's
It doesn't
anime?
count. Nope, it's not your
It's
answer.
a
It doesn't
video
count.
game.
That's pretty close.
Your troll answers never. No, your troll answers for these questions never count.
I don't want to look
They
like
never-
a weeb, okay?
they
At my
never- they
funeral?
Guys,
never-
let's talk about
they never-
Cyberpunk.
They don't
All right.
count. They don't
Moving
count.
on, moving on.
They don't count. Your first answer was
Kwoka
dumb.
in the
Okay,
background.
Kwoka, what was your answer?
I said it's only love, but I meant Beautiful World. That's the name of it. It just starts with.
Oh yeah,
Thursday.
Beautiful
It's
World.
Only
Beautiful
Love.
World. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. I wish I would have said
You
that
were
one.
right.
Now
Well,
Fake
Nick was the one that had the correct name.
Oh yeah.
He
Nick
was right for
okay,
once, one time.
Yeah. He was. All right, Waifu
A
and
broken
Husbando.
clock is right sometimes.
Waifu and Husbando. Danny.
Waifu is our best girl, Lucy.
Oh.
Talk about fly me to
Second
the
runner-up would be Becca.
Yeah, dude.
I think our Discord would pick Becca or Rebecca.
No, there's like a half Lucy, half Rebecca.
There's like, yeah.
Dude, this
yeah.
is
like half
the
and
new.
half.
This is the waifu wars right here.
This is new waifu war right here. Yeah.
And
And
Husbando is main MC
Falco.
Coon, David Martinez.
Yeah.
So
Listen.
you don't like the long arms guy?
I didn't pick these, so
No, these are very standard good picks.
Yeah.
The
I knew
main
Nick would pick
characters.
long arms.
Yeah, literally the main characters. That's my kind of pick right there. The main fucking characters.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
serious.
Let's dive right in. No, yeah, that's what. Nick
Gloria's
would
the
do,
real waifu.
except for Mitty.
Yeah. Except for me.
Oh no, Mitty is the exception.
Yeah, no, Gloria Martinez. Oh, dude, she was the most purest fucking character on the show.
Is that his mom?
This is mom's. Yeah,
Who's the other hacker? Not Lucy, but the other one.
Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Kiwi. All right.
She had a big job.
She doesn't
like,
have
no.
a
gotta
face.
You got to see her
Yeah.
boobs a little bit.
Okay.
Uh,
Anyway, we're gonna
Cyberpunk
try
is
something
Edgerunners.
that I guess you guys started doing a while ago and then stopped doing. We're just gonna front load with just our feelings about the show as a whole.
Yeah.
and what we think is good. Then we'll go into the deeper discussion that may probably involve spoilers for the show, and also kind of probably some spoilers for the game.
Right,
Just
which
because these
Kwoka-
things are so interlinked, the show and the game.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Kwoka will lead us on because I've never played the game, but I've heard it's really fun.
I
Same.
played a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
of
came
it
here.
too.
I'm the resident cyberpunk. I'm an Edgerunner.
Kwoka's favorite game right now.
Kwoka's
so,
the edge runner, and we're just edgers.
So I'll
I've
give
liked
you a little.
it since before it was cool. I waited 7 years for that thing to come out, and I enjoyed
You
every
did.
second of it.
Did you play it on PC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
So
a
I will-
flawless experience from day one.
Wait, are you joking? Everybody says it was buggy.
It was buggy on like old Xboxes and old PS4s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Which
I
I don't.
heard,
was
I
I
don't
heard
blame
that
you.
it plays.
Perfect.
Yeah, I heard it plays really well, like on the PS5 and the new Xboxes and all that.
Which
kind
I
of
don't. In my opinion, I don't blame Project Red for that. By the way, I blame the loud minority who bitched about it not coming out when they wanted it to come out.
stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Let me just give you a little bit of backdrop here, okay? And then we'll just jump right in. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's a 10-episode ONA on Buttflix. That's Netflix for you normies. Studio Trigger, directed by Hiroyuki Imaishi. Music by Akira Yamaoka. Chief animation director, my boy Yo Yoshinari. Character design also by Yo Yoshinari. Based on the game Cyberpunk 2077 by CD Projekt Red. Based on the Cyberpunk universe created by Mike Pondsmith. This is set a year before the events of Cyberpunk 2077, the video game that Kwoka just mentioned, in a dystopia overrun by corruption, crime, and cybernetic implants. An impulsive but talented street kid named David Martinez, after losing everything he has in a drive-by shooting, makes the choice to survive on the wrong side of the law as an edge runner, a high-tech black market mercenary known as a cyberpunk.
Whoa.
That's what's up.
It's almost like we're in some kind of cyberpunk.
The first cyberpunk game to come out
One thing
was
that
a
you didn't quite
tabletop-
mention there is that it's written by the story lead from CDPR.
Oh, that's right. What was his name again?
Like Trigger
I didn't
didn't
have
write
that.
they made
No.
some adjustments and stuff, but they didn't write
Yeah.
the actual story.
Well, let's go to Wikipedia.
No, the script. Yeah, the script for the anime is.
I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. It's like Bjorn, blah blah blah, some
Bjorn-
Polish name.
Bjornsson.
The script is the screenplay is by Otsuka and Yoshika Usa, but like Rafael Jacki and Mike Pondsmith did the scenario, and then like I can't find the other name that you were mentioning, but
Mike Pondsmith being the original creator of Cyberpunk.
he's the
in
original
80s.
creator. Yeah, because he wrote the first game, which was a tabletop role playing game. In
Not the creator of the
1988.
genre of Cyberpunk, but the
No, the game. Yeah,
property
the game
of the
called
pen and
Cyberpunk.
paper game.
Who did
called
create
Cyberpunk?
cyberpunk?
The genre,
No
I
idea.
have no idea.
I'm gonna look it up.
But the first edition came out, and then the second edition was called 2020. Hilarious. And then the third edition was called version 3.0, and then the fourth edition was called Cyberpunk Red.
Bruce
There was-
Bethke in 1982.
They're working on a new version right now that covers the in-between times.
Yeah. And then there was a collectible card game. Then there was a living card game called Netrunner, which I played. Very fun. That's a very fun game. I did not realize until like recently that was the same thing. I thought Netrunner was its own thing. It was released by Wizards of the Coast in '96, and now you can buy Android Netrunner, which is like all the cards in one box. So if you want to play that, you can play it. It's the whole card game in one thing. And then there was another one in 2003. There's also a miniature war game, more video games, but the latest being 2077, in which this anime takes place a year before. And
What
so,
year would that
yeah,
be,
dude,
Sam?
2076.
2075, 75, 75, 74,
24?
75?
It's
If it was
unclear on
a year,
exactly
it
how
would be
long.
76. But
I just
they
wanted
don't.
to. Let's do
They
math
don't
on
really
this.
So
say. They don't really say what what the year.
Yeah,
is.
me
it
and
can
Nick
be
were
no
me and Nick were
earlier
trolling,
than
yeah. we got it.
75 because that's part of the rules with CDPR versus the original property is that their creative control starts at 2075.
Yeah, yep. So, Kwoka real quick, if you want to quickly give us, like, because I haven't played the game, only you and Danny. So you and Danny, if you want to give like a brief, like, because the game starts, you play a character named V, right? And you can customize that
Yeah,
character.
you play
however.
a character named V, which is short for either like Vincent or Valerie or
Vanessa,
something.
Veronica, whatever you want to call
No,
her.
I think they explicitly name them both. The male and female Vs have a real name. But you play as them. You start off different life paths, but whatever your old life was, it kind of all becomes the same thing. And you're trying to come up in this world as your own little edge runner, and you get lead on this awesome sweet job, and you go and you rob the head of the Arasaka Corporation, well, the son of the head of the Arasaka Corporation, and you steal a chip, and you find out that has the what do they call it? The engram, the brain construct of Johnny Silverhand, who was one of the major main, not necessarily characters, but story lore parts of the Cyberpunk 2020 time period.
Johnny
And he's
Silverhand
basically
sounds
a
like a
super
porn
terrorist.
star.
And he ends up getting into your head and trying to take over your brain. And your process is about, trying to solve this problem. Is what the game's about. But you get to go around and do a bunch of edge running shit.
And Johnny Silverhand is Keanu Reeves' character, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
Nice. Okay.
Back in 2020, he blew up the Arasaka Tower,
Oh.
which kicked off the third corporate war.
Against like Militech and all them other bitches, or what?
Yeah, because it was Militech that gave him the bomb, the nuclear bomb that he took there. Anyway, that's getting way too far into the lore
Yeah.
for this part of the conversation.
That's so cool though. That's so because like I just I finished this anime yesterday, so which was an easy watch by the way.
It's so
But,
easy
like,
to just keep watching more of it.
I know, seriously. I kind of wish there was more. It was so sick. I just love Trigger shit too. Like me and Kwoka like jack off Trigger every day. But like honestly, initial thoughts. I'll say we gave a brief history. Initial thoughts. I'll say that that's one of my initial thoughts. Is that's easy to watch. It's amazing, and I thought Trigger was gonna do their really trigger hard shit on it, but really they can't because it's another person's.
I mean, they
thing,
still kind of did.
They still kind of did because
Their motto is to the top, and he eventually gets to the top of the building. And we'll spoil stuff later, but yeah.
And then there's little Easter egg things like there's a couple buildings that had the words DTR on them or the letters DTR on them.
Wait, what is DTR?
DTR, dude. DTR is DTR.
DTR DT's nuts? Is that what that is?
Down to race.
Haven't you ever seen Kill la Kill? Obviously not. Fake fan.
Oh,
Anyways.
is that like the clothing?
Fake fan. So fucking. Anyways.
Well, maybe I am.
No, it's what Nudist Beach uses. It's the little machines that Nudist Beach uses where they they plank in it. It's called the DTR. Yeah, DTR, dude. Yeah, freaking. I thought it was really amazing. I thought it was really fun. There's a lot of obviously Trigger's goats on it. Like Ikarashi storyboarded episode 6. It was very apparent that he did Kai Ikarashi, and then Hiroki Arai doing episode 5, and I think they did like 2 others, one other I don't remember, but the Kai Ikarashi episode. Amazing. Yo Yoshinari, you can tell, storyboarded the last one. Very much so. I love it. I love Trigger. I jack off Trigger every day. I'll glug 9,000 everybody in that studio for days. For free. I would do it for free. So anyone at Trigger, if you're watching...
You would pay them money.
I would pay you. Like, if you cheated on me, I would apologize to you. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you probably did something wrong,
What did I do to make you do the things you do? Baby.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was.
One thing that was interesting is like it kind of reflects certain things that I find and feel about it too. Mike Pondsmith went on Twitter after watching it and said it was like, I mean, he saw some stuff as it was going through, obviously, because he was kind of had some creative consulting on it. But he said it's like seeing my brain on the TV. It's like everything that he wanted of Cyberpunk is like translated properly in that. And as far as comparing it just to the game, it's like it very much feels in that world, not just in the sense of that they put so much like Easter eggy stuff, like because every single location of your backdrop that you see in the show is like from the actual game map. So it's like every little thing
nice,
is like,
nice.
that's a place. Like I went there, I know what happened like there, type of a thing.
The only things I recognized
but-
were like his house and like the train on the way there. Like they did a kind of the repeat of him traveling a few times.
Yeah. Technically, the end cards that they show in the anime are different from the one. That's the only difference, like in the world, the subway. Because in the
Yeah, there's
game,
some
they're
spoilers
all
in the
above
credits,
the
too.
rail, and in the anime, they're all hanging below the rail. It was a really weird change to have. But
Yeah.
it's like all those
But that-
backdrops and stuff. It's like they went somewhere in the game. Apparently, CDPR gave them like a special camera version of the game where they could just float around with a free cam just to find
Sure.
set pieces and stuff.
But that's really cool that you say that, though, because, like, you know, everyone makes fun of Trigger for doing Trigger things, you know? And it's like, this is, like, just proves that they can take someone else's thing and be like, no, we're going to do it, like, how exactly their thing is. We're not going to throw all of our shit in it just because we're whatever. You know what I mean? Whereas with the Star Wars short they did, they kind of triggered on that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, whereas this, they're like, no, this is your world. We're going to take care of it and, you know, do it right. You know?
Oh
Which is-
yeah, Star
which
Wars.
is dope.
Oh god. Well,
I personally loved it,
Andor
but
was
they-
pretty good.
But I can, you know, I can admit that triggered heavy on that one, on their short there. But like, yeah, no. Anyway,
Oh, you're talking about the Trigger Star Wars thing.
yeah. Like,
Oh, it
on
just
the-
felt like Trigger. It didn't feel like Star Wars.
I was just saying, like, because like that's another one where they took someone else's universe and they triggered hard on it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, they didn't do that with this. They
Well,
just
they-
took it and they were like, no, this is your world. We're
Sidebar:
gonna, know.
Vader can actually walk on the hulls of those ships.
Lord Vader.
Anyway,
Yeah, dude.
Anyway,
Darth Vader's my favorite character. Shout out to James Earl Jones. Back to Cyberpunk. Yeah. What about Nick and Danny? Initial thoughts?
Danny, do you want to go first, or do you want me to filibuster for you?
You go ahead.
All right, I'll filibuster. Okay, so earlier I asked the question, who invented Cyberpunk? Apparently the guy named Bruce Bethke made the name Cyberpunk, but he didn't invent it. It was like the 60s and 70s. So you had people like Philip K. Dick. He did Total Recall and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. We always kind of talk about the stuff with sci-fi, like Androids, Electric Sheep, Blade Runner, and then there's
Runner is
William
that same
Gibson
thing.
with Neuromancer, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just thought I would mention that, and Cyberpunk draws from all of that stuff, and it's, you know, it brings it into the current climate. And yeah, Cyberpunk is like I like how I linked you guys an article. A really good definition of Cyberpunk is it's a combination of low life and high tech.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, I like that. It's like gangsters, but with hacking, pretty much, kind of.
Late stage
like mafia.
capitalism.
Yeah, late stage capitalism.
Like, they just keep-
Hey, you know what? If we don't get nuked tomorrow, then we'll get there.
we'll get there.
I have faith in us.
God, I hope that doesn't age badly.
Oh, God.
All right, yeah, Cyberpunk, good show. I like. Oh,
Me like you. The part
Animation's great.
me like
Emotional
pretty
appeal
lady,
is good.
blue hair, ooga
Yeah.
booga.
Danny, what about your initial thoughts? What do you think?
I would
mean,
recommend.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on everybody else's page. This was really good. I am not a huge Trigger fan as much as Sam is. I have some issues with other Trigger shows, just because they start a project and it's really popular, it's really good, and they never continue any series. They never do sequels.
Yeah, because they
Right.
end it. They do the right thing.
Again, but like there's still an opportunity to have more. But
No,
anyway,
that's
this is
wrong.
Said I
not
did.
like this is not just
Then you
this
get
is not
Fooly
just about
Cooly
Trigger.
alternative.
So, but I definitely like if once they did announce that they were doing a Cyberpunk anime, honestly, like I really can't think of any other studio to do all of the crazy shit that I've seen in Edgerunners.
Yeah, 100%.
Madhouse.
Are they still any good?
I mean, maybe Madhouse, but
Kyoto Animation actually.
I
Kill
don't
Annie.
know. Like I feel
Kyoto
like
Animation,
after
Cyberpunk.
They did Full Metal
Between-
Panic.
between like actually playing the game and experiencing and fighting freaking cyber psychosis people, the fact that they let you see that and actually let you be the person who is getting hacked and all that kind of stuff, and you experience someone who is actually having cyber psychosis is really, really cool. And I think Trigger definitely does a great job animating that, and even imaginating all that kind of stuff. And of course,
Imaginating. Another Dannyism.
Whatever. And
Somebody write that one down.
And getting references from Podsmith and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, like I not a huge fan of Trigger, but something like this, they are top notch when it comes to weird things.
It's quite a bit more grounded than the typical Trigger.
Actually, it is.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say.
And I
'cause
think
it's not
that's
that
kind of
grounded.
why I like it. It's more structured because it's based off of something. It's not just like all willy-nilly, and it's not like an original piece.
Yeah, like Dead Leaves is like the extreme version of Trigger, and even I didn't like that much. And Promare might be partway in between. I think Cyberpunk. Danny's right. It's pretty grounded for Trigger. It's maybe one of their most grounded shows. I mean, it's super gory and bloody.
Yeah. But again, like I feel like that's kind of why I like it, because it's a little bit more structured. It's based off of something, and there are rules that they have to follow. They can't literally just fucking take some acid and just go bananas.
I mean, Rebecca she's kind of the Trigger insert. Didn't Trigger insist on adding her in, and like she wasn't really part of the game?
Well, none of these characters are part of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, but
No,
she
none of these
wasn't
characters
she wasn't
are.
part of the original like script. When Trigger put their foot down, they're like, "We're adding our lolly."
Yeah, they were kind of like, please no lollies, and then Trigger was like, nah, we need a lolly or something.
And then
like
Trigger's
that.
like,
there
"Scoreboard,
was a
she's
bit of
the
a-
second favorite
The
character."
first kind of telling of this was like that it's like in a meeting they're like, we don't really know if her design fits the kind of the rules of Cyberpunk. They're like, the lowly stays. But that was like the joke telling. It was more just that they wanted to add another character in pretty like late in the script process,
Oh, okay. Yep.
where it was like there wasn't, or at least the original scriptwriters were like, this is finalized, and it's like you're trying to add someone new in that's not in this yet. Like, how is that going to fit? But then once they started seeing, they're the part that's like she's the part that's very Trigger, having their piece in it, because then once Trigger demonstrated their vision for her, they went with it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Hell yeah, dude. So that kind of, we're already kind of in the production talk, I guess. But yeah, like, that's really funny. I do really like
One
Rebecca.
thing that really grinds my gears is that Gloria didn't just put her foot on the brakes once all the shooting started.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he was like, brake hard, and she didn't. Like,
Like, it was like 20-minute crash. Like, all she had to do was slow down.
His mom, David's mom.
Yeah.
That's what
not
I was
really
thinking. I was like,
spoilers.
wait, couldn't she have just braked?
Yeah. That's right at the beginning. That's the first episode. But yeah, like,
Yeah, it's what needs to happen for the story to work.
yeah.
She doesn't believe in brakes. Well, I mean, probably what happened is like
She doesn't believe
it was all slowed down, so they were just shocked and stunned. So maybe I can believe it. It happened fast.
None of that was in slow motion, though. It was quite a while, though.
Yeah, well, all right. Maybe she's a bad driver.
Maybe she's a bad driver. I really do like speaking of like the characters that were in it, and yeah, none of these characters are in the game, right? But like,
So we all loved it. Now can we start spoiler stuff? When do we draw the
we
line?
all
Oh, we got to convince people, like, what's the pitch to watch it? What's the main story?
Just watch it if you wanna, if you wanna live.
yeah, if you want to live, watch it. No, like
You'll
yeah,
laugh,
like
you'll cry. You'll cry some
I mean,
more.
at
You'll
the
bleed?
beginning, speaking of that car crash, at the beginning, obviously the main character's mom doesn't survive the car crash, so he just is like, well, fuck, drop out of school, I'll become a edge runner, join the black market, steal people's shit, sell it, so I can pay rent and live, and then he really gets into it, and that's kind of, speaking of which, I mean, like, that's like one of my favorite parts about David Martinez's character design, is him wearing his mom's jacket, because she's like a EMT or whatever, and it's like a yellow
Which you
reflective.
can get in the game.
I mean, he wears like, it's kind of like the is it like the Promare firefighter jacket? He's got to have a jacket. Trigger they always have a jacket.
They always have jackets. This trigger.
It's also
looks
very
cool.
cyberpunk thing.
Yeah,
The jacket.
But yeah, I also really like Rebecca's character design a lot. I love her a lot. I arguably love her more. I probably love her more than Lucy. I'm probably Team Rebecca, honestly.
Aggressive lolly.
I like her big arms that she gets because like after episode 6, it kind of goes forward a little bit. Like a couple
There's
weeks.
a time
or something
skip.
like that.
No, it's
Yeah,
like a
it's
year,
time.
I think.
No, because this takes place a year before the game.
Is it a year? I thought it was a year skip. Because, well, the thing is, okay, well, I don't want to nitpick
Sometime.
right now. We'll get into it.
Yeah, but also I just want to mention before we get into the spoiler section, though. I mean, the music was really good. The insert songs and the okay. Let me tell you something really quick.
All of which are from the game.
Yeah, because they use like in the in radio game like music, because like you can turn on the radio and there's
One thing I'm not
There's
sure
songs-
of, though, is if those songs were ones that were made for the game. Because the game had a lot of songs made for it explicitly.
yeah.
And I'm not sure if those are part of that. Because I've only, on Spotify, I think they're only under the Cyberpunk soundtrack.
Yeah, and so I know a couple of the bands that were in it, like Private Press. They're like a fucking electronic duo, and they made the song Retro Genesis for Cyberpunk. It's not like one of their songs or whatever. Oh, I mean, it is their song, but like they made it for, you know what I mean? And then obviously the OP by Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let me tell you something about Franz Ferdinand right quick.
He's so good.
He got
Like,
assassinated to start off World War One.
If you told me Franz Ferdinand, the Archduke, if you fucking told me one of my favorite indie bands from when I was in high school was going to do an anime opening, I would have told you what?
Well, this is their second time doing an OP for an anime.
I did not know that.
Yeah, for Paradise Kiss, they did the opening for that.
I watched Paradise Kiss.
Oh, actually, they did it for the ED. I'm sorry.
That was Franz Ferdinand?
Yeah.
Fake fan. Wow. I fucking, it's like post-indie, post-punk revival. Like, they're from Scotland. And I thought the opening they did, which is the song is called This Fire, with 3 Fs, by the way, was really cool. But yeah, the band Private Press, like they did that for Cyberpunk. There was a couple of there's the band Mastiff did Acid Breather in episode 4, which I think that's one of their songs. I don't know if that's for Cyberpunk. I think that's just legit one of their songs. But yeah, the soundtrack is really good, and you can go on Spotify, like Kwoka said, and insert those bitches here. I think they're really good. I don't know if I'll put that in this episode because I don't want to get flagged all hard. But if you want to listen to it, I might be able to use the Anchor Spotify partnership thing and just insert some of it in here. Anyway, that's
really
neither
wanna
here nor
stay
there.
at
So
your house.
if you do want to fucking hear it, you don't hear it here. Just go to Spotify and find the Cyberpunk playlist. That being said, let's get into the fucking the nitty poopy. This is the spoiler section. If you don't want to hear spoilers, then go watch it. It's literally you'll fucking binge that shit. It's so good. It's so easy to watch. Each episode is 22 to 24 minutes, 10 episodes. You'll be fine. Then come back, listen, party with us, party all the time, party everywhere. Okay.
Party hardy.
My favorite part is when David kills everyone.
He kills a lot of people.
He's just like brah 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 gah 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 grr grr.
It's always one of those things that's kind of weird in these kinds of properties, where it's kind of like the main character often has like this moral issue with the violence that other people are doing, but then they just do a bunch of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
And it's
right.
very rarely like that they take time to think about or acknowledge that. But in this, I actually think it's better than most. Because when like David's getting started as an edge runner, like even he goes to the firing range with Rebecca and he doesn't even want to shoot. Like it isn't until Rebecca's brother gets killed that David actually like shoots somebody. Until then, he's just trying to do like the side stuff on jobs.
He kind of starts out like the Ray Liotta character in Goodfellas. He never actually does a hit until he does. He goes full trigger.
No, there's some time in between the first one and the later ones.
Yeah,
but
he builds up,
Yeah.
He gets a warm up kill in the morning.
There's even a part where he mentions that, like I think it's in the later episodes where he's like, "How many people have I killed? Like, it doesn't even bother me anymore." Like it's,
I mean, you figure it wouldn't after a certain point, right?
Right. Yeah. He's like, but he's like getting concerned at the fact that it doesn't bother him anymore, which is like, it was kind of
until
cool.
It does. When he gets like
until
when he starts to get
kills
the
that one
sickness.
lab tech.
Yeah, because she had a son, and
he
she
sees
reminded
that
him.
she had a son that going to the same academy that he was going to when his mother died.
Yeah.
So suddenly it was like, oh, I've just done this exact same thing that
I literally just did this
to
shit.
some other kid.
Yeah. Yeah. That's and then the psychosis is like starting to affect him really bad, and
Yeah, he needs like the super duper drugs just to keep him normal.
yeah.
It's like Krusty the Clown.
because-
He's like, I need the moon dust just to keep me at normal.
So that's one of the main parts of the show, which I should mention quick, is like one of the reasons he becomes Edge Runner is like he doesn't have any cybernetics in him other than like what every other citizen has, which is like the phone stuff and whatever, right? And the stuff for school. But then like when he took his mom's belongings home after she died in episode 1, she had like a thing called the Sandevistan spinal thing. Sandevistan.
She
Is
pilfered.
that like a cyber skeleton?
She pilfered this like top secret spine off of the bad guy who was the first. He was like the opening scene of the show, right? There's like a guy who's cyber crazy. He's killing a whole bunch of people, and she like pilfered it from him.
Cyber
Yes.
crazy. There's a term for that, Nick.
I don't know the
Cyber
words.
crazy,
All right,
yeah.
God.
So this spine, it allows you to
Cyberpsychosis.
Yeah.
it allows you to like be the Flash basically. But you can't use it all the time.
Well, and most
Like, you
people
have to-
can't handle it more than like once or twice a day, and David can handle it like 8 times plus a day.
The first time he did it, he did it 8 times in the first day he used it, and like, so that's kind of what makes him a little special.
Yeah.
He literally
Just to
says, "I'm built
give
different."
some background
Yeah.
on that is like the Sandevistan is a thing like that would be out there as implants that people can buy. The biggest difference is that the one that they got was like a souped up one, so it basically give a lot more time dilation than the typical consumer grade implant.
It was a military
Because when he
grade,
goes
yeah.
super speed, they do like the after image thing, where he's just like floating around the screen.
He goes so fast that everything else looks still and slow, and yeah. It's basically like if you're actually, you know what, they do the same effect in Cyborg 009, if you've ever seen that one, but like with the main character. But yeah, it's really cool, and he can handle using this, multiple times. And
I
so
love the nickname that they have for it. They call it Sandy.
Yeah, bro, let me get that Sandy right quick, dog.
Every single time they say it out loud, because I always was just playing the game, just Santa Vista, and it's like San Day Vista Dawn or something like that. It's like every single time, I'm like,
Yeah.
who chose this as the way to pronounce it?
Right. Did you guys, who watched the dub and who watched the sub?
All dub, baby. It was easier.
I watched both.
Yeah, I watched it dub.
Okay.
I watched both.
Danny the dub, and I watched the sub, but I also watched some of the dub because Giancarlo Esposito plays Faraday.
Yes,
And
he does.
He does. That's Gus
Yeah.
Fring.
Oh yeah, Gus Fring, baby. He's
Yeah, Gus
great,
Fring.
dude. His voice acting is phenomenal.
I was thinking the opposite. I felt like he didn't. It felt like he was phoning it in.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I thought it was good.
I thought it was
Maybe
pretty-
I just suck at telling.
Maybe I'm biased because I just like his voice.
It did. I mean, I can kind of agree with Kwoka. It did feel a little wonky in certain parts,
Sure.
especially
He had
close
the villain
to the,
voice,
to the
though.
end of the show. He definitely has a for sure villain voice, and it's great.
Yeah.
And I love him for that. I love that he does, like bad people.
Oh, but
Yeah,
you're
he's
saying
a
he
villain.
didn't have
Nice
like
guy.
he didn't use all his range. He didn't go like quiet and loud all the time. He was like always loud.
I mean, Faraday
Felt like
seems
underperformed.
not something he would do. It was definitely out of nowhere. It seemed out of character for him to voice that type of character.
I don't know. That seemed pretty in character for him. If for going off his Breaking Bad character. Anyway, the character Faraday himself might have been a little bit one note. He's just like the evil corporate guy, right? So I can understand that.
He's like the shady, unethical business guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's,
He's a
So,
fixer.
yeah.
He's a fixer. He didn't really have.
He's a fixer.
It was
for
hard
the
to like
corporations.
empathize with him unless you're just like a super corpo nut. You know, he didn't have. He wasn't trying to like save anybody or do anything. He was just trying to climb and get more power.
Yeah.
At least
Well,
Thanos
aren't we
was
all-
trying to save people.
Aren't we all just? He was just on his grind.
Yeah, he was on that grind
Yeah.
set.
Yeah. I watched the sub, and I just thought it was, obviously, I think I probably should have watched it dub. It probably would have been.
Well, because you got to look at the pictures more.
Yeah, it probably would have reflected better, right? Because it takes place in like a fictional futuristic dystopian California, right? But like, also,
Moral
I
Bay.
just really like the. I just like hearing them say, David. David.
Oh god,
Yeah.
the broken
David.
English.
But like, yeah, like, I didn't mind and I when they voice the big guys, obviously they have a really deep, Yakuza-like voice. I liked hearing that. But like, I thought the sub was fine. I did watch some of the dub though because I didn't know Giancarlo Esposito was in it until like I saw it, and I was like, oh wait, let me go watch some of those parts in English quick because that's cool. But
I
yeah,
think this
I thought,
might have also been Netflix's widest range of available languages on one of their original properties at release.
Oh,
really?
nice. Yeah,
Like
they
the
figured it
number
would
of
have a
languages
large
that
audience.
has is just stupid huge. Because part of it's also Cyberpunk is available in a ridiculous number of languages. The game,
So
like they actually did VOs for like 16 languages or something for the game, which is crazy.
Did the
On top
anime
of
have like a
something.
huge budget? Because
Just-
it's based on a game. Like Arcane had a huge budget. So
yeah,
let's see. Cyberpunk.
I have no idea. See if you can find it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
we
They
gotta
have
keep
a
going.
lot compared to
it's freaking
normal
Netflix
trigger
money,
stuff,
right? So
But
Wow,
yeah.
it says it's only 3.4 million. What? That seems low.
wow, really?
Seems
That
like you
seems
can't
like
even hire minimum wage
3 million.
animators to for that much for that long.
But,
God, even 4 million. Like Arcane, $10 million per episode,
yeah, god damn it, dude.
and it fucking looked like it.
Did we say that on the app?
Yeah, I said that.
You should have. Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. That was like, God, it's so fucking nuts.
I mean, Trigger
And
does a
all
good
for
job. They
studio
did have
that
some
had
still
never
frames,
done like a long length thing before.
Yeah,
It's
they had to
crazy.
invent their own style with Arcane. So yeah. Anyway,
Well, it was also a French studio, and French animation has
Perhaps
already
they
been on another
pay
level.
better.
I mean, they had only ever really done like commercials.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, they've done films too, but
Ironically,
you mean
Not-
that
not
the
studio?
fact
as, like,
that the Cyberpunk
The
budget
studio
was so
itself
low-
had not done any major works.
For Arcane, yeah, they only did like commercials and like a music video or two. They did a couple music
Yeah.
videos, which were like League of Legends music videos too.
There's no way
But,
it's $3 million. I don't even think so.
But
'Cause-
that being
Because an
said,
average anime episode is like 500K, right? Or more. It's got to be more than that. Maybe less. I don't know.
maybe you're looking at the
We
wrong
don't
thing.
have the numbers. Maybe it's 3
Yeah,
million
could be-
yen.
Maybe 3 million per episode. I don't know.
But I think that's part of the build-up that I liked about
3 million
the-
yen would be even less.
Speaking of the Sand Vestin, though, that's like part of the build-up, right? Because like the it's like pretty apparent, and for those people who play the game, obviously would know. But like like the more you use and soup up your body with cybernetics, and the more you use it, the less your brain can handle, right? And it's just like something called cyberpsychosis happens. They go cyber crazy, as Nick would put it, and you just lose your mind, man. You get psychosis, you lose your mind and shit, and you go crazy. You're seeing things that's not in front of you. You're not seeing things that are in front of you. And
So there's actually been a lot of debate on what cyberpsychosis like really is. Like in the game, there's a big plot line with one of the fixers that has you go around and try to handle some of the cyber psychos before the max tech shows up and just kills them, or at least to like whether it be get some more information on them, hopefully be able to neutralize them without killing them. But because she kind of doesn't believe that cyberpsychosis is a real thing, and that it's more the corporations trying to hide the fact that life sucks. Like she's kind of the vision that, this is just people having mental breaks. And then whenever it's just they realize that they can't handle living in the society, that then when they
We live in
snap,
a
people just
society.
blame it on being too chromed out so that they don't have to actually deal with these problems. And like we find in the game, like some of these like cyber psycho sightings, they don't, like when you read more about what actually happened to this person, some of them didn't have any cybernetics beyond like the very basic stuff, but almost all of them went through some kind of significant trauma.
Oh, so no matter, like,
So
the
many-
second you start with the cybernetics, you're eventually going to get the trauma?
No,
Don't
Kwoka's
think
saying
that's
that
not the interpretation.
Okay.
no. Kwoka is saying that the people who ended up with cyberpsychosis had trauma beforehand.
Oh, like they had mental trauma beforehand?
Yeah, before the snap, like something happened to them. Like,
Okay,
Yeah.
they were triggered. Studio triggered.
yeah. So a lot of them are almost all like poor.
Yeah, they got to
And
get a way out,
significant thing happened to them. Like somebody very important to them was, it could be like they were killed and then the police didn't do anything to help and stuff like that. Like these kinds of traumatic
Perfect
events.
example on what happened with David and his mom.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal because
Yeah.
like he brings her in and she's alive, and the doctor's just like, well, with your current insurance plan, we can only give you the basic treatment and blah blah blah. It is all just insurance shit. And I'm like, God damn it, this is the U.S.
Well, that's what fucking sucked, right? Because like they got there at the crash site and they're like, oh, she doesn't have the plan to cover it. Let's just leave her there. And they literally left her there to like just fucking die.
Because in
And
real
left-
life,
Yeah,
they'll,
well,
I think they'll
well,
stabilize
technically
you
that
and then
was
they kick you
private
out.
medical. That wasn't like the public medical system.
Right? Yeah.
So like
yeah,
trauma team is
'Cause,
like you pay for an extra level of insurance that
Yeah.
involves also like they link in and can see your vitals digitally, and like if there's something crazy happening, they fly in and they rescue you.
Yeah, and that would cost money for sure. But
And there is a comic book for Cyberpunk that's all about like specifically somebody that's on trauma team, and in their first job, a bunch of their team members get killed by one guy, and then like this is not the spoiler part, and later they like the next thing is showing them going on a job to rescue that guy because he paid enough to get the platinum level treatment. And most
Oh,
of it's
yeah, it's
about
like a
this team member
Battlefield
dealing
medic.
with this fact of like, oh, we're now saving this guy that just killed my friends because that's the job.
Well, that's
Right.
that's what they do in real life too. The battlefield medics will, well, they're supposed to heal anybody. Supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is like that's a big ongoing theme of Cyberpunk, right? Is the, you know, that's what's big in this world is like, you know, you got the people who are rich, right, and they have everything, and then you have the people who are poor. There's like no middle class, basically.
Kind of like real life.
Kind of like real life. And
So
then
a lot
you
of
know,
people came out of the game thinking like that that Fixer's story for it, where it's like, oh, the cyberpsychosis is not real. It's really just the normal like mental health issues that we say deal with today with when there's like mass casualty incidences, mass shooters and stuff. Like we don't the issues mostly on mental health, not on what cybernetics they might have had. But Mike Pondsmith did clarify some of this after the anime and say it's like it's kind of a combination of both, where it's people have like you end up in this state from having like losing your empathy and connection with the world around you. And part of that happens from, you know, how much, you know, interpersonal connection you have with people and how much you actually like feel stuff. So it's kind of like the cybernetics can put a lot of stress on your body and also potentially cause you to kind of like disassociate from the things that you're doing. And over time, that stress can be a factor in your snapping later. But oftentimes, the thing that really triggers it is some kind of a event that happens that causes that trauma, where it's like you feel helpless.
So if you're just sitting on the couch, but you're all chromed up, you're probably not going to go crazy.
You're chromed the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're chromed the fuck up, but you're just chilling.
Eating a hot chip. Yeah, you're
you use your
not going to go
cybernetics to grab a
cyberpsycho.
beer.
Like, there's almost no instances in the game of anybody that's like more well off going cyberpsycho. Like, I think the military guy from the anime in the intro is like probably the wealthiest person, but he's also been through war and things and being used as an experimental test bed by the corpos.
Is that the Crusher? What's his name?
No, the guy from the beginning that they get the Sandy
from. Yeah. He was just an Edgerunners.
But yeah, you can look at something Adam Smasher's like almost full board, and some might say he's cyberpsycho, but he's not classified as that.
Isn't he like invincible pretty much in the game?
Do we want to get into spoilers for the game?
Sure. Well, I mean, we're not really reviewing the game. We're mostly talking about the
you
show.
kill him in the game.
Oh, because you have plot armor because you're the player. You have infinite respawns.
Only at the very later part.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
a lot of people are saying like it's like after watching the anime, they just go and they just beat the shit out of Adam Smasher over and over again.
Yeah, that's legit. I was yawning. I was hoping someone else would fill the silence.
Yeah, Sam, what are your thoughts on that, Danny?
Yeah, Danny and Sam.
I was talking and I realized I was muted again because I had to blow my nose. I'm developing allergies and I hate my life. So like,
yeah, now you know a fraction of what I feel.
I know Nick is allergic to everything. He's even allergic to people named Nick, and you can imagine.
That's why I named myself Knock.
That's why we call him Knock, so it doesn't count. He stopped sneezing after that. No, like that's why I bring it up. That's why I brought up the Sandevesten and stuff, right? Because like that's eventually what culminates into like the climax at the end. You know, the main character's now going through. He's more chromed up later, and he's going through all this stuff, and it's like he's at the end of his rope. It's kind of like the Reaper's calling my name kind of thing, which is what Maine says to him, you know, in episode 6. And it's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I think episode 6 was the true climax, if you think about it. Or that was like the most like emotional moment of the show.
That's definitely like the beginning of the end. It's like, oh, shit.
That was like the emotional high point or low point or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And it's just that's kind of like when you realize like how long can they keep doing this kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and then the last few episodes are like the finale, the downhill. They're like the blood for blood, ride or die, fucking run and gun.
Let's fucking go. Yeah, I'm already dying anyway. I'm already fucking cyber crazy, whatever, you know. Danny, did you want to? Sorry, did you have a thought about your favorite moment or anything like that, or how the story progressed?
I mean,
Being someone who played the game too is what I mean. You know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I didn't play the game all the way through.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in.
To be fair, you're playing like 10 different games.
Yo,
Yeah, I am playing 10 different games.
Danny plays like 5 to 10 games at a time.
Holy shit.
I'm on my third playthrough of Cyberpunk.
I go through phases, okay, and sometimes, I get lost in like trying to collect all the shit, especially in an open world game. It's all like, okay, I gotta clear this area before I move on. I got side quests I need to do. And then I get very overwhelmed and I'm like, I can't play this game anymore. Let's play something else. So
yeah.
At least you're not stuck with microtransactions.
I mean, one thing with Cyberpunk that you can do is just do the major set piece main missions, and then everything else is just still there.
Yeah, you can just go back and do it.
I mean, I know, and that's the same thing with everything else. Like Assassin's Creed, you can just do the story and everything else.
The problem with Assassin's Creed is the story is so slow and stupid.
Well, I mean, but also with me,
I say that as someone that has loved the series for a long time. I just hate the new RPG bullshit that they've added since like.
There's problems with it. It's still fun. I mean, we can talk about Assassin's Creed another time, but when I play, I like to do all the side quests first to get them done and get all caught up, and then do the main story. I don't know. It's weird. I have a certain flow when I play open world games in my head, to progress the story that makes sense to me so that I enjoy the game. And it just takes really long. But with Edgerunners, I mean, it's definitely an easy watch. I mean, I was definitely hooked from episode 1. I think episode 1 is a good example of how a show should start, and they don't sugarcoat anything. They just show you this cyber psycho, and shit is gonna hit the fan, and it's just gonna escalate at every episode you watch. Like with David actually installing the military cyber skeleton thing that he wore.
Oh, at the end, you mean?
Say it again.
The exoskeleton at the end.
Yeah, that. But also, I'm mainly talking about episode 2 where he puts.
Oh, the spine. Yeah, the sand
the Sandy. I'm just gonna call it Sandy because I'm not gonna bother trying to pronounce the.
Sandeviston.
Sandeviston. Yeah, the Sandy.
So I mean, but I also, as a fan, or slowly starting to become a fan of the game, and actually kind of playing a character, and you have a choice on which abilities to use, and how you want to build your character and stuff. So you have the option of being like a brawler, or you can do more like netrunner stuff and like hacking and everything like that. So the fact that we're able to see a netrunner and them literally going into the net and just trying to figure out everything that's going on behind, like with Arasaka and stuff, like with Lucy, and how she figured out that Tanaka was involved, and he knew that David had the Sandy installed and he wanted him to be like a guinea pig and stuff, for Lucy to prevent David from escalating even further. But she ended up failing anyway because he wore that cyber skeleton in the end, which made me really sad because I'm just like, oh, why'd you have to do it, David? Why couldn't you just be happy with Lucy?
Right. Yeah, dude.
Well, I don't think Lucy was happy with him.
That's like very similar to the game when you do the star or the sun endings, where it's like you can just be there and be happy with the love interest that you picked for whatever remaining
Right.
life that you have. But instead, you go on
Right.
another mission. You're always
Right.
going on another mission,
Because you want more money. And you want to
even
get
though you have a
freaking Johnny
big ass
Silverhand
apartment on
at
top
your
of a
head.
building.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, when you were
Um,
talking about the intro to the show, like the start of the show, how it gets you like into it and sets the pace. They really went with like that Game of Thrones strategy, where it's like make sure you see ultra violence and boobs.
Yeah.
First
Hell
episode,
yeah.
make sure you get both of that in, so you're just set.
Yeah.
Which is a
And
great part of this being like a Netflix thing and not a Japanese TV thing.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did the Devil Man Crybaby thing where they were able to be more graphic.
And I also think it's a good it's very similar to how kind of the prologue for Cyberpunk is too, because shit hits the fan in the prologue with your character and Jackie, and like how they're able to find the Johnny Silverhand chip and everything like that. Like that whole shit was just fucking
The 4-hour prologue.
insane. Like, I mean, it was a long ass prologue, but like, to me, it was good storytelling, especially at the end on what actually happened at the end too with Jackie, and the events between like that involved Arasaka himself and his father. So, but I mean, even like, it just, I feel like everything in this show was just so enjoyable, and I could literally just turn off my brain and just watch something that's great, and just watch colors, and I didn't have to think about anything.
Look at
Just
the pretty
enjoying
colors.
all of the action that
That's
is
the
in this
dream.
show.
I
I
don't want
think
to
there was that's a good point too, because even with like all like the deep explanations about like the world and like the politics between the corporations and stuff like that, it didn't get too deep in the weeds, and it was just enough.
Yeah, the corporations were
story
pretty faceless entities in the
Yeah.
show.
Right, so they didn't have to like go too deep into it and make boring parts of it, and they didn't have to explain too much, they explained just enough. It was understandable what was going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, although I've heard
Yeah.
complaints that some people thought it was a little bit fast.
Oh, sure.
As far as like the exposition, like you only, like David's mother is only in one episode right away, and she's kind of like direct with what she's trying to do, which is fine. I mean, that's just like it's a little bit melodramatic to start.
She is involved with the Edgerunners that David eventually joins.
Yeah, and
that
he
crew
did
and
not know
everything.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
He had no knowledge of that or anything like,
Because she was gonna sell that to Maine, the spine.
Yeah. And
Sandy,
I
yeah.
mean, maybe I half agree with a few of those people that say that. Maybe it could have used 2 more episodes. So instead of being
even, like,
10,
one
it could
more.
have been,
Yeah.
it could have
Maybe,
been
like,
12
60.
or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
just
60
60
episodes.
Just
or
do the One
like-
Piece thing. Half the episode is a recap.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could have wanted maybe a few more episodes, but honestly, to me, I think the pacing for Edgerunners is pretty good. I didn't feel like it was too fast. Honestly, I felt like
It felt trigger speed, which
I
is
mean,
fast. but,
yeah, compared to like if I'm comparing to trigger shows that I have seen in the past, like Kill la Kill, it's definitely a pacing that Trigger is familiar with.
Yeah. I would say, like, it would have been nice to have an episode of, like, Lucy's background as a kid. Just, like, a total flashback episode.
Right.
That would have been cool.
We did get a little bit of
Yeah, we
it,
got-
like,
we got
with
one,
her running away and, like, how she was explaining that, all of my friends were getting shot behind me, but all I did was just kept running.
Or they could have done, like, the asynchronous, like, where they would do flashbacks. Like, they're doing this in Andor sometimes, and, like, this is a Star Wars thing. And Andor's not as good as the show, but, like, you could have it where you have, like, Lucy's childhood is kind of intermixed with in different episodes. Maybe, like, the first half of an episode is that or something. That would have been interesting to do. I mean, it's
I feel
hard.
like it's
They
just
had a budget probably, but
those things are just like not the story. It's very like this is the story of David starting as an edge runner to win. He no longer is an edge runner.
yeah. But I think that is like that's what prevents it from being a 10 for me is that you don't delve into every character. It's not like what was the show?
This isn't Clannad.
Well,
Where
I mean,
every character needs to get a 4-episode arc.
Every character
You're
is
just like, oh my God.
is distinct, and I like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just see it as a very slight flaw. But I love the show.
I mean,
it's
I'd
a
love
great
more,
show.
of course. I'd love just more of everything.
Well, I'm saying just like a little bit more. You don't even need a lot. Like even like Ping Pong the animation does a great job of this, where they follow each character around, and it's not necessarily like one main character. This one is more like David's the main character, and like you have everybody else kind of around him. I feel like Lucy should have been. She was a big character. She was like probably the second main character, but it was mostly from David's point of view, which is fine. But
Yeah.
I like being inside of people's heads. I like people thinking.
So some things that I think are worth mentioning is that Nick had brought up here on our sheet here is like what the impact of the anime on the Cyberpunk property. I mean,
wrote
one of the
that.
things I read
I
is
contributed
that,
to the show notes.
Oh, that must have been Kwoka who typed that. I don't know if I did.
that was
I put the
Cam
last
Shot.
2 on there.
Okay, that was Cam Shotka. I mean, the sales of the game on PC have boosted a lot ever since
The
this came out.
highest selling
Has it-
game right now on Steam,
Um,
Yeah.
or at least was for a little bit.
There has been an Edgerunners update on the game, right?
Yeah, that came out like a week before the anime
Yeah.
itself.
The anime.
Yeah, and they also that wasn't it? Isn't it called like Phantom? I think it's called Phantom something.
No, that's the expansion next year.
Oh,
The 1.6
that was-
update is the Edgerunners update, and it just kind of adds
okay.
some small things, and it adds like Rebecca's shotgun, David's jacket, transmog system. Like it's just a quality of life thing plus a bit of Edgerunner tie-in. Like to get David's jacket, you go to his apartment building and you watch the brain dance that he's watching at the start of the anime. So you see that whole scene.
Oh, that's sick.
Nice. Do you get in the game? Do you get to have sex? Like
Yes.
Yes,
you get a
all the time.
Yes.
but
You
no,
have
but
to.
no,
Multiple
You don't
not
just get to.
times.
You have to.
no,
Yeah,
not
there are multiple occasions.
It's
There
just
are
like real life.
actually side quests that you actually have to go to a
Nice.
freaking love motel and
It's like
have
Grand
sex
Theft Auto.
with
But
a
do
corpo.
you get to do it like the dating sims where you have to press all the buttons? Be like,
No, it's just an
Even
Remove
animation.
in the main
panty.
story, you have to. The main core story,
Nick,
that there's no way around
Nick, when this game was coming out, that was like one of the big things about it that everyone was like memeing about. Where were you?
I didn't play it. Shit.
Everybody was talking about like, hey, can we have sex with Keanu Reeves?
it.
Like
To have
that's-
sex as Keanu
He's
Reeves.
like, yeah, they actually made
Yeah.
a mold of my asshole, so there you go.
Yeah, but
He would
going
never
to, like,
do
the impact on the stuff. The game has hit top selling on Steam. It's the most played, I think still right now, it's the most played non-multiplayer game. So most played single player game on Steam. I really want to stay at your house became #1 on Spotify for a little bit.
yeah, that song is good.
And like obviously Cyberpunk had a very rocky start. It had very bad performance on low end systems, even after they kind of said that it was probably pretty good. And I mean, there's a lot of politics and stuff involved in that. But I kind of feel like the news media, the game journalists, ran with that super hard, acting as if it was a buggy, unplayable mess on everything, even though large swaths of people were not having any of those issues, and you could easily play it on like Stadia or GeForce Now if you didn't have like a high-end machine, and those were fantastic experiences. Like even Nick just heard that it was a buggy piece of crap, and it was actually like plenty of people had no issues, but that was just pushed as a narrative pretty hard, and that really hurt. CDPR, like their investors wanted to like sue them, and it was not going well. They changed a bunch of the plans. They've always said that they're committed to the brand in the long term, but that they did have to make a lot of adjustments to their expansion plans. So here we are, like 2 years later. But this has dramatically changed things, I think, for them.
I hope the people at Trigger got a raise for this shit. I feel like every
man.
time like a hit piece of art comes out, like the artist should just be getting like royalties just up the ass, you know? Capitalism will never let that happen, but come on.
I mean, they're probably getting a lot from Netflix on top of whatever the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why the budget of $3 million is. I don't believe that at all. There's no
hopefully
way
they're getting that Netflix money. Danny, what were you gonna say? You were gonna say something about your experience with the game.
When Kwoka was talking about how there were controversies with like Xbox
The release and stuff?
yeah, like with the game being buggy and stuff. But with people who have played it on like PC or more up to date consoles like the PS5 and stuff, the game doesn't really have a lot of bug issues or glitches. And I was just saying that I firsthand know what that's like because James has the game on his PC and I've played a little bit on his computer and I have not experienced any bugs or glitches. But then I bought the game for my Xbox One and I've already experienced a glitch for a side quest, and I also had to reboot the game because I got stuck in a dumpster and I could not get out.
And that's more
This was in the
recently
beginning,
buying
you're
it?
saying.
Like,
Yes.
What's the timeline? Yeah, it's still not great. So for the next expansion, they're
Yeah.
dropping the older support entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, and I've also always read about how CD Projekt Red, I mean, they're so in tune with their players. I mean, they listen all the time. You know what I mean? So, that being said, I'm really glad that this anime has given them that boost because, you know, it's a great game and a lot of people love it. So hopefully it'll help. That being said,
Suddenly a bunch of
I
people
kinda
are going
wanna-
around like, wait, this is good? It's like it always has.
Yeah, right. It always has been, dude. A couple more things before I get up and go pee is like one thing I want to mention is one of the questions that I don't know if it was Cam Chaka or Nick, but what can adapters or people who are adapting game stuff learn from this? Here's what you do is like this is a perfect example of adapting something within an already made universe that's adding to it and not just adapting like the thing, right? Because like you guys I've said it on this podcast before, most video game adaptations of anime adaptations of video games are not that good. Not that they're terrible, but they're like a lot of them are just super mid or bad, right? And
there's a
this
few
is
that are
great-
really good. They're way better than like every other anime.
Yeah, right. There are a few that are really good. But like, you know, I can name like 10 off the top of my head that were just like, this kind of sucks, right? But like, this is a good example of like, no, they didn't adapt the game. They made a separate thing that adds to the game, that adds to the universe.
Well, I'd say
yeah,
even
not
it's not
every-
an adaptation at all.
Yeah, no, exactly. And really, right, like, well, you could say, oh, well, Sam, that's because there's a whole universe behind it. They had something, you know, it was easier. Sure. But like, at this point, right, the Disgaea anime was not very good, right? But at this point, the Disgaea universe is huge enough where you could make a separate anime and it would be really good that could add to the 6 games that are out there right now. So, I mean, that's an example. There's also Valkyria Chronicles. You know, that anime was very mid. You know, it wasn't very good. But, like, there's extra parts of, like, the sequels to the games all take place during this one big war that you're playing from the first game. So, like, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is alongside the first one. And then the third game is, like a little bit towards the end of the first war, you know? You could do an anime like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like it adds to it. It adds to the world. It adds to the universe. You don't have to adapt the damn thing, you know, straight up. So I think that's something that you know, people who production companies and studios should learn is that they should find a way to like adapt that thing. You know, like the most recent one I can think of is The World Ends With You, right? I watched the first 2 episodes of that. It just made me want to play the game. I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
think
mean?
a big thing that makes this anime still stick to what was going to similar to like Arcane is that with this CDPR wrote the script, with Arcane Riot wrote the script. Like they were, it wasn't something where it's been just totally given to someone else. Kind of like when you mentioned the Trigger Star Wars thing. I don't think anybody probably at Disney wrote the script for that. They just kind of said like yes or no to whatever Trigger was trying to do.
Disney straight up was like, no, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, like they just kind of give it away, which can be nice because it can allow like if it's being done in the right way, it can allow a totally different vision. But in terms of keeping it like to what people would want to see, like if somebody plays the game and they want to then see an anime, like they want to see something that has a kind of a unified feel to it, and it helps when in their actual dealings the original retains at least a certain degree of creative control, as well as of course the people being passionate about it. And who knows exactly what all the legal dealings are with like how Mike Pondsmith and the original license holders of the Cyberpunk property are involved in all of this. Like they're being involved. I'm not sure if that's a legal or a respect type involvement. But like keeping that process going, of course, it makes it way harder to get the thing done because you can't just have the studio just making all the decisions themselves. They have to have probably shit tons of meetings on every little thing to make sure everybody agrees on it. But the end results really speak to that. So it's really about if the studio wants just a quick cash grab to get these fans money, or if it's about actually producing art.
Yeah.
What did the Disney
show
execs
definitely
say?
made
Go ahead.
me. Oh, this show definitely made me want to play the game, like hop back on to the game again.
I started a third
So-
character.
In a good way, not in a way
In
where
a
it's
very
like,
good way. Yeah.
not in a way where it's like, this just makes me want to play the game. I don't want to watch this. But in a
Right,
way where it's like, wow, this makes me want to go back to playing the game because the show is so sick.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
And you're like, oh, I want to go back there. I want to go to this place. Like there's a side mission at Rebecca's apartment
Right.
and stuff like that.
Which is
And
dope.
not related to Edgerunners, but just that is a location that you go to for a side mission.
You can go to. Yeah. And I think the thing that's exactly what Kwoka said too is Studio Fortiche, they took Riot Games' world and notes and script, and they were like, gotcha. We got it. We got you. We can absolutely make our animation techniques and, CGI usage like work for this, and I think I think that's perfect.
That's probably
I
even a
also
more
like that
dramatic
too.
one of the, like, it's not really an adaptation at all because nothing about
Yeah, no.
watching Arcane has anything to do with the experience of playing League of Legends. Like, it's just,
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
they're
before,
almost
yeah.
unrelated. While at least
Yeah.
with Edgerunners, it's like like what David goes through is similar-ish to what your experience can be going through
Right.
Cyberpunk. Obviously, you as a player don't have to deal with cyberpsychosis and stuff like that, and you have a different story
Right.
that you're going through, but you're doing that same thing of like, you're entering into this world in Night City, and you're trying to make something of yourself.
Yeah,
Trying to get that money. Trying to get those eddies.
those eddies. And which I do want to mention, by the way, there wasn't a lot of CG, like the planes.
Some of the
and mechas and
vehicles,
things.
some of the cars, a little bit, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, but not
Oh.
too bad. Yeah.
I just remembered one of my favorite parts, and it literally pretty much sold me on this show, and it was the freaking car chase. Like,
With the
Which one?
limo or the which one?
literally the final battle when
Oh yeah, that was sick.
like when David finally put on that cyber skeleton
And they're trying to get to the tower.
they were trying to get to the tower, and Falco was just like literally fucking redlining that shit all the way through, and it was nuts.
No, that's a different show.
Yes.
I know, but it's the only
every other
reference I
Trigger show.
could think of.
I was-
Either
I
that
was
or
kinda
freaking
hoping-
Fast and Furious.
I was kind of hoping, like, when he fell out of the building at the end, they would do the Ghost in the Shell thing where he would just disappear. That'd be really funny.
I like those car chase scenes because it very much reminds me of Sex Violence with Mach Speed, and I think that's where Trigger got to Trigger.
Yes,
they-
and that's too far too. Like it's just wackiness. Like it doesn't.
but it still worked for the purpose of this show.
It's just an
'cause it was,
animation
like,
showpiece. It's like or showcase or whatever.
right, but it was
This
able to
this had more of
kind
a story. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was able to. They were still able to kind of put those vibes in the car chases, which is what I was saying.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Rebecca, she was the
Yeah.
Trigger mascot, pretty much.
Yeah.
She really liked
Yoshinari,
just taking 2 shots out the back and then having a bunch of cars explode. They did that
Yeah,
exact
that's the
thing
Trigger
like
thing.
4 times during that chase.
Yeah.
She turns, shoots twice, and then it cuts away, and you see everything explode.
Yeah. You could very much tell it was like a Yoshinari board, which was very funny.
Yoshinari is one of my favorite staff in all of anime.
He's
God tier.
He's one of my favorite character designers there. I love him so much. I love his boards. Yeah, dude, exactly. God tier. Dude, fucking okay. Final thoughts. What do you guys?
We barely talked about the story, like the basic outline of it, but we got bogged
did.
down or bogged up.
No,
Bogged
we did talk
sideways.
about the basic. We talked about the basic outline of it.
Oh, we didn't go through like scene by scene or whatever.
Yeah, well, I
do we
mean,
really
people
have
watch
to,
it.
though? Yeah,
Yeah, we could.
exactly.
Let people watch
That's the old
We
Anime
almost
Summit review.
we almost like didn't spoil anything if you think about it. I mean, we kind of did, but
Well, that's
I mean,
because
we
we're trying to move away from
the
that kind of
things.
review where we just summarize everything. Because that's
yeah, okay. I'm just asking if you guys wanted to. All right, cool.
Nick is so used to the old way of reviewing. He's like,
Ha!
wait, we didn't do this
Feels
thing.
off. Well, no, we can still. What I meant was we
At
can still
minute
like
3
mention
of
a big
episode
event.
4, David said this thing. What do you think that could mean?
Yeah, we just
No,
super deep dive.
I mean, I'm with Danny there. I really liked the last few episodes, honestly.
I liked episode 6 was the best of the show by far. I
Episode
think.
6 was probably the best, though. Yeah,
And then
was-
it got
was-
like it's weird because like the end of the show was good, but then like it almost felt too triggery after a point because it was just all action at the end. And like you knew how it had to end, right?
It's Cyberpunk, though. I mean,
Yeah,
they told you in the
yeah.
first episode how it ends.
And they tell you in the OP how it ends, kind of. So
They say it's like you don't make a name as an Edgerunner by how you live. You make it by how you die.
well, and yeah, and the OP like spoils it indirectly too.
I definitely enjoyed episode 3 where Maine and the crew kind of like ambushed David and so like, hey, that's like that Sandy is mine, that was supposed to be with me, how do you have it? And they're all like, and that's when he kind of like said, well, Gloria is my mom, because they were all like, how do you know Gloria? And he goes, well, Gloria is my mom, that's how I know about this, and that's why it's on me and not on you, so let me join your crew.
yeah, like the way it happened was cool.
Yeah, and just
Yeah,
I
let's
just
kill this
really-
kid.
Yeah,
great
like they're
people.
just all like, let's fucking kill this dude. But then like Maine kind of saw potential in David and stuff, and he's like, all right, scum, you're gonna join us then, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think the first
And-
6 episodes were better than the last 4, in my opinion. Sort of.
I disagree.
Kind of agree,
don't
but I
know.
also do like
no,
the
there's
end.
parts at the end. I like the parts with Lucy.
It's Nick's wife.
That's my wife.
Well,
yes.
it's one of those things where it's because the ending of any of these shows is very like focused on this very specific thing that's happening, while a lot of times the lead up is much more like world building, and some of that's
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
be more exciting for people. It's like they want to see and feel this world, as opposed to like say something like in Made in Abyss. Some people just really want to see more about like what is life like for these people that are going down into the abyss all the time, not necessarily caring as much about our main character's story itself.
Fuck plot.
So it's just different people's views on kinds of things, but I think for me, I like that world building, and I want to see more of the world and see that like growth
Yeah.
aspect. While very much those last 4 episodes are like, oh, okay, the end is starting.
It's the climax, or it's it's just the action.
We have a place that we're going to.
Yeah. It's kind of the destination, but the other part's the journey. The thing is, like, with the last 4 episodes, I feel like there wasn't as much character growth compared to the other ones. But I mean, you knew how it had to go.
Well, how
he
much
had to
character
degrow.
growth
Like
do you
David,
want? He
David
was
had to grow
already
backwards.
dying.
Yeah, he had to grow backwards pretty much because he started out human and then he becomes inhuman. And then at the end he's just trying to give Lucy a chance, pretty much. Oh yeah, he was a Chad. He was a fucking
Got that thick neck.
Giga Chad at the end, dude. That thick neck.
That thick neck.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah, that's David getting all his chrome. No regrets.
Yeah. No
I
regrets.
just love that moment where he
Rugrats.
busts into the Ripper Dog's like, it's high time I chromed the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that, like, overall though, like the villains in the show were not the coolest villains.
Yeah, right.
I think that's a weakness.
Some might
of the
say
show.
they're not necessarily that much of villains at all.
Yeah, like they happen to be villains, but they're not like
They're antagonists.
they're antagonists. Like you don't
sure.
empathize with these villains at all, which is sometimes is fine, but like because you get Faraday and you get what's his name, the Crasher guy, Adam Crasher.
Adam Smasher. Well, there's no empathizing with Adam
Smasher.
Smasher.
Well, yeah, he's a robot. And then you get the principal or whatever, or the classmate's dad.
Tanaka.
Well, he wasn't ever a villain, though. I wouldn't say Tanaka
Yeah,
was
he was just a corpo, and
he felt like it at the beginning, but he wasn't. Yeah.
But he was trying to give David a second chance and not being expelled in school. But with Tanaka, he was
he wanted to take that. He wanted to use David as a pawn or like an experiment.
Right.
He didn't care
skeleton.
about the school thing.
Well, the only way for him to get in contact with David was because of the school.
Yeah,
because
he's
his
trying to bribe
in the
him.
same school. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say the main bad guy, if anything, like not to get like too deep because maybe it's not that deep, but like the main bad guy is just
He's our corporate overlords.
Like,
the city is the real character, man.
yeah,
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah. The setting
like,
is the main character.
Because the whole thing with Lucy wanting to go to the moon, go far away from, like, as far as she can away
reasoning,
from.
But
She could just go to like Alaska.
maybe he should have played her the flying into Alaska. It looks just the same as today. There's no cyber anything.
There's no escaping Night
okay,
City though.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like Alita,
Oh
It's
yeah, a
just
little
like-
bit. Yep.
You're just attracted to all the shit.
You got that death
crime or
drive,
whatever.
dude.
Yeah.
That
Side
soot
bitch
smell.
though. Side bitch.
Rather
Side
you
bitch.
go out in a blaze of glory where no one ever knows your name.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
I live my life a quarter bag of Cheetos every time. So I like the puffy ones. No, but like side bitch though. This artist I used to work with, he goes to Alaska like once a year, and he showed me pictures of this dude's cabin. God, that was beautiful. I want to go to Alaska once. Anyway, hang out with the polar bears. That's what I'm talking about.
You do
Listen.
not want to hang out with polar bears.
Okay,
Yeah,
shut
polar
up. You don't
bears
know that.
will murder
They're
you.
like one of the most lethal animals like to humans on the planet.
It's like if it's black, stay back. If it's brown, lay down. I forgot.
Get out of town.
And then if it's white, say goodnight. Because you're fucking dead.
Okay.
If you see a polar bear, you're fucking dead.
Just know that my last words were, "Come here, baby. Come and give me a hug."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah, do you want a Coca-Cola?
Yeah, you want Coca-Cola? Dude, no, seriously.
throwbacks to the 90s?
So, any other final thoughts though that you guys might
Watch
have? I mean, I think
Cyberpunk Edgerunners, play Cyberpunk 2077, buy Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, read the books, play the tabletop, do it all.
play Netrunners.
Right.
I'm actually
Netrunners is really
curious
fun.
on that comic book that Kwoka was talking about it focusing on an EMT.
Trauma team. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm interested in that.
it's very, very good. It's quite expensive because, of course, comic books are short and expensive, but
Well, I looked
sure it's
it up
cheaper
on
now
Amazon
as, like,
and
a
I
full
can get
kit.
it on Kindle for like $2.
the whole thing, like all
Yeah.
four
Not all four,
Books.
just individually. So for all four, it'd probably
I
be
think
like
I paid like
$10 or
12
something.
bucks each. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. No,
But it's
dude,
great.
Netrunners is a fun card game, and you can buy the living card game all in one box. So that's really fun. Which I didn't fucking know that was
When
the
you
same
open the
thing.
box, it just screams like the Necronomicon because it's alive.
Okay, another side bitch,
And
by the way. If you ever open a fresh pack
DM
of cards
Mike
from a card game, you
Pondsmith
smell
on
that shit.
Reddit. He's Magic Mike, or tweet him. Tell him that we want to have him on the show.
Yeah, I'll fucking talk to him. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, let's score it. Let's score the
Wait,
bitch.
I got one. You didn't get to my little mini questions at the end. How
Yeah, because
does
I know
this,
you're gonna say something like.
Where does this
you're gonna say
sit
something
in the Trigger pantheon?
Nowhere.
Roughly.
There's no such
roughly.
thing.
In the Trigger list of shows,
Pretty-
where is this show?
At the top.
not enough life fibers and boobs and butts. So,
Not enough Luluco.
not enough Luluca, not enough Inferno Cop. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's pretty high up there. I think it's I mean, I still love like Kill la Kill the most probably, but
Oh,
Yeah,
so,
no, it's up there.
So, I had a question that I thought of that I forgot to ask about. So, like, Trigger doesn't really do second seasons. I mean, they have done a Gridman second season, and they did 2 Little Witch movies plus a series after
yeah,
that.
Gridman's probably my
But
favorite.
let's assume they're not going to do another Cyberpunk anime. But say if there's going to be another Cyberpunk anime, what studio would you want to do it? And what kind of, maybe if you have an inkling of what kind of a thing you'd want.
Oh, so is Trigger not allowed? Are we picking a different studio then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Assuming Trigger won't do
Dude,
it.
imagine. I would
No
love.
matter how
I
much
would
you
love
pay.
if they did. I would love if they did another one where it was like, it was based on net running,
Who do
where
it?
they just log in online, and then it was done by Science Saru. That would be sick.
Oh, like
Imagine
all
how
wibbly
trippy it would
wobbly.
be.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
imagine how trippy it'd be. You know what I mean? Or like Colorado, even like I fucking like get Nakamura in on there.
I
You
want-
talking
Do it like
Sorry,
the
make it.
do it like the Digimon movie or Summer Wars.
Yeah, just give Mamoru soda on that. Like I'm just like Studio Cheesy. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool. I'd like that. What about you guys?
I'd probably want a show focusing maybe on Johnny Silverhand.
No, which studio,
Ooh.
Danny?
Anime Keanu Reeves. Yeah, she's getting there.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Everyone yell at Danny.
No, everyone yell at Nick.
Danny, you should help my listening comprehension, okay? Next time, make me listen better.
Dude, okay, Anime Keanu Reeves. I'm with
Yeah.
it. What?
And probably Studio Orange, because
Oh.
I feel like they would do that kind of. I honestly pretty much wouldn't mind like 3D animation for this.
Yeah.
And they definitely can do like that nitty gritty like graffiti-esque backgrounds kind of, I feel. And plus Johnny Silverhand, he's a singer and he performs in a band, so like let's get on that.
I'm picturing the way you said that just now. Do you remember that episode of Beastars where they go into like the city, right?
Yes, that's
people-
exactly what I'm thinking. Yes.
Where people eat meat and stuff. Kind of
Yeah.
like the second opening. Like
Yes.
this. Yeah, like I would love that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay, knock.
Either KyoAni or Wit Studio. I don't know anything about Cyberpunk, so whatever you guys think as far as the story. As far as the story.
Maybe with
No,
Studio,
Kyo Animation
but
did a
neither.
good job on Full Metal Panic, okay? They're pretty good at it. I mean, that was 20 years ago, but still.
I mean, like in the long run, I definitely like the idea of like if they made anthology type of a thing, where it's just all these studios just making their own story within the world, and
You do it like
KyoAni does
Space
a very
Dandy.
like KyoAni type thing, where it's just
Yeah, Space Dandy.
high school girls, but in this in this world where there's a bunch of tech shit going on, and
Space Dandy, exactly.
Like Star Wars Visions, like where it's like it had the different shorts and whatever. And
or Animatrix.
Oh, we
Yeah,
should mention
Animatrix
Studio
was-
Bones, too.
Bones. Yeah, dude, I love Animatrix. By the way, we should review that.
I
That
think
shit's sick.
Bones or Madhouse could do good. What I really want, Comics
Gotham
Wave.
Knight, by the way, yeah.
Ooh, what do they do? They're new, aren't they?
No, the Makoto Shinkai's studio.
Oh
On
God!
Makoto
God, you would
Shinkai
say that. You fucking
movie.
bitch.
You would have two
In
lovers
Cyberpunk.
separated by space and time in the internet with chips and shit.
She's a
I mean, actually, that could work.
she's
That
a
definitely
rich corpo. She's
It's
a corpo
Romeo and
rat.
Juliet.
He's a
Ghost in the Shell.
Valentino.
works. Yeah.
The star-crossed lovers.
Dude, if they do a cyberpunk thing like that, where they do an anthology, I would love to see another Igarashi piece. That'd be sick. He's the one who did La Pinocho and Visions, Star Wars Visions.
They're
Fucking
making
Yuki Igarashi,
they're
dude.
making a Star Wars Visions show out of which one of the, they picked one of them and it's going to be a show.
The Elder, I think it is.
Yeah, well, it was one of the good ones. It was one of the good ones.
It was the one with the Padawan
was
and
the
the old guy.
worst
They go to the planet and they fight the old Sith guy who's got like 4, blind.
Oh,
old
it
Sith
was that
man
one. Okay, okay.
Face Johnson.
What was the one with
yeah.
the anyway? Never mind. Sidebar. Whatever.
Go listen to that episode. Shut
Yeah.
up. Okay. So let's
Final
score.
thoughts.
Let's score
Yeah,
the bitch.
Scores. Final thoughts. Danny, you go first.
I really liked this show. And that's saying something because I'm not a huge fan of Trigger. So, and I gave it 9.5 out of 10 Sandys.
What's a Sandy?
The Sandevistan, the spinal
Sandavistan.
chrome.
I'm
The
thinking of
Sandevistan.
Sandy from Grease.
Sandy.
Sandy Keats from SpongeBob.
Shitty pop pop. Shitty pop pop. Shitty pop pop. Shitty pop pop. I give it.
Wait. Are we gonna do the thing where we put it in a tier instead of a number?
Oh God! Here comes Nick with the tears.
S
Okay,
tier,
I put
A
it in
tier?
the.
Okay, for Danny,
I
that'd
put
be
it-
like
I-
S then.
I put it in the Choom tier, which is like S.
Preem.
Preem. That's Preem. I put it in the Preem.
I give it a preem out of preem.
Yeah, I give it Preem out of Preem because Choom is bad, right? Choom is a bad thing.
No,
That's like-
team was just friend.
Doesn't- Oh, okay, yeah. What a
Buddy, pal,
I'm gonna choom.
hombre.
I mean, dude, on the last step, I was about to short circ, dog. So yeah, no, I mean, honestly, yeah, no, I'm with Danny. I give it 9.5 chooms out of 10. S tier.
9.69 Sandy Cheeks.
9. Okay, Kwoka was at 9.69 Sandy cheeks.
That's what
out of 10.
Coca's is. All right,
So
I'll do
S tier.
8.5. I'm the Simon Cowell of the group. 8.5
So
Simon Cowell white T-shirts.
So Nick puts a double A tier or A tier.
Yeah, it's up there.
Right.
It's good. It's good. It's one
Yeah,
of the better Studio
yeah.
Trigger things. I'd put it like below Kill a Kill a little bit, just because Kill a Kill is like nostalgic for me. So,
I don't even think Kill la Kill's that great.
I know, but that's exactly. I don't care.
Okay, so shut
then,
up. You guys are.
I would put it below Arcane. Also, I know that might be controversial for some people, but I think Arcane is slightly better.
Nick
different
to
show.
Nick to this day. Fucking
I mean,
10
I
out
get
of
that
10 out
10.
of 10.
Same.
Anime of the year.
like
Did you say same?
Arcane's on a whole nother level. But
Yeah, Arcane is god tier, dude. But
'Cause
this is
they
good. This is
did-
good.
Because Arcane also is like a whole new just way to even visualize things. Like it's like
Yeah,
Enter the
yeah.
Spider-Verse, where it's just like, oh, you just
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
seen anything that looks like this before.
You ain't
on
seen
top of
nothing
being
yet.
good story.
Right.
And I think Arcane had better music, which is a high bar because this show had good music.
My bank account is
hell
zero,
yeah.
0, 0. Oh no.
So by the way, for anyone who missed my last
is this
update
show our
on-
anime of the year so far?
No.
Yes.
Okay, you
it's
gave
the
it a
only
high
one I've
score.
watched this
But,
year.
all right, Kwoka says yes.
We haven't started fall yet, and Chainsaw
I
Man's
said
coming out
so
soon,
far, from what we've seen so far.
Maybe.
You got to say yes or
I'm
no.
not sure.
That's only 2.
Kobayashi season 2 came out this year. So,
Okay, Sam says no. Kwoka says yes. What about Danny?
I'm going to say no.
Danny says probably some Fruits Basket OVA. All right. Nick?
Probably some fruit. No, we watched. Trust me, we watched that OVA.
I know.
It was not that good. Yeah,
I'm just going to say, you know what? I'll say yes. Let's go.
Yeah, I think. No, it's kind of up there for me. That's a big question. Like you're asking.
Just because it's
me,
like
that's a
way
loaded
better
question.
produced than most animes, so.
Yeah. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, like that's like you're putting me on the spot. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you, But like,
I think I wrote it in the sheet. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, you should have known I was going to write it there.
no, you're full of shit. Fucking. For those of you who don't know, Kwoka is actually, for who missed my last Kwoka update, which is a couple months ago, he's in Dubai. So he actually woke up early to hang out with us and return to the podcast for a little bit and fart around. And
He's posing like Tom Cruise on the Burj Khalifa tip.
obviously, Kwoka is a big
that's
trigger
where I live.
whore like me. And on top of that, he really loves Cyberpunk. So, like, he had to be on it. So, like,
Dubai's kind of cyberpunk if you think about it.
Not really.
Nick, every time we have a topic, and we bring up some other thing,
Do we
you're
want to
always
talk
like,
about the cyberpunk aesthetic?
It's
No,
Have you ever
neon.
noticed that American cyberpunk stuff is all about the U.S. being a failed state and Japanese corporations taking over, while Japanese cyberpunk is all about the U.S. being a failed state and Japanese companies taking over?
Japan #1.
No, it's totally the U.S. becomes a military-industrial complex that just tries to use force and politics to take over the world.
Isn't that what
If
we
you look
do?
at like Ghost in the Shell and stuff. But it's just
I don't-
interesting
yeah,
that
you know, I was-
the
I
U.S.
literally
one
was gonna
is
say-
very like, we suck and Japan's
Yeah.
going to take over. And then Japan's is more like, we have some problems, but the U.S. sucks so bad, but they're going to still take over.
Hey, at least our population
gonna
isn't
say-
average age 60 like Japan.
I'm like, all this talk just makes me want to reread Ghost in the Shell. Like, I got the manga on my shelf. Like, honestly. No, but like, no, it's really funny. That's a good point. That being said, though, Kwoka's in the future right now, so we have to let him go because he's going to go do Dubai things. I don't know what it's like over there. I heard it's really fun.
Kwoka's going to go eat at McDonald's.
Yeah, what's the McDonald's like over there, dude? Can you get a Big Mac or what?
They have a McArabia.
Oh,
Is that
shit.
literally what it's called?
They have a McArabia. That's a real item.
McDonald's is
It's like-
diverse
wait, what's
across
like
the
kebab.
world.
It's like kebabi.
Wait, what's a... Oh, okay.
It's like a kebabi. You know, like a tiny soft shell taco.
Oh.
Because food everywhere is just the same stuff, just remixed.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
right.
true.
Just like when you go to Taco
Like-
Bell, everything is just the same thing but remixed.
Yeah, it is. God.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
You can taste the microplastics.
You can taste it.
I can't. Can we end this now, please?
Oh man, hey
I'm
Kwoka,
so
thank you for
black-pilled.
Kwoka, thank you for coming on
Thanks for coming.
and educating us on cyberpunk lore and having fun watching Cyberpunk Edgerunners. That
Nick
being
and
said,
Sam,
you guys should
gotta
go
get
watch
the
it.
game. You guys got to get the game.
When I get a new PC,
Yeah,
I'll
same.
probably be able to play it.
When
'cause
I
At
get a
I'm
least
working
when
on.
Phantom Liberty comes out, just get GeForce Now.
Oh, yeah, the cars are cheaper now, right? All the stuff's cheaper.
GeForce. I got your GeForce right here. That being said, I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening every week. You guys should go watch Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's on Buttflix.
Great show.
That's my way of saying Netflix.
Watch
Have
it
to
in whatever
remember
language
to-
you prefer.
Right, because there's 50 languages.
I bet it secretly sounds
Um,
really cool in like German or some shit.
I bet you it does, yeah.
Everyone's angry.
Everyone's. But yeah, thank you for listening every week. We love you guys. I've been Sam. That's been Knock. That's been Danny. And of course, that's Kwoka from the future. And this has been the Anime Summit podcast. Choom.
When I see Lucy, I'm just going to be like... That's all I was doing before we started recording. Lucy, you got something on your suit. Is that mustard on your shirt?